welcome to our TC2 live webinar. This is Monica Partulan, your host for today. I'm so happy to see all of you here that you are joining us for today's webinar. And for the first agenda, we will be discussing about interactive and innovative teaching strategies. And I'm pretty sure that all of our speakers are now ready and excited to share their presentations. So without further ado, help me welcome our first presenter, Miss Irish Habilio.
Hi, I hope you're doing well. My name is Irish and I will introduce some of interactive and innovative teaching strategies. Teachers open the door, but you must enter by yourself. Yes, as a teacher, we need to adapt and adjust according to what's the interests and needs of our students. And now, I introduce you the two teaching strategies. Those are the clustering and clean up the mess. But before we will further discuss about clustering, we will first know its definition, desired learning outcomes, teaching procedures, examples, advantages, and most especially its application. So from the word itself or root word cluster, it means it is a small group of people or things. Like when you and your friends huddle, it's called clustering. It is a vocabulary strategy to encourage the students to give more ideas, more concepts or words about a certain term. It is a classroom activity or a group project where there are given lists of statements which from which clusters are to be formed. What are the desired learning outcomes of clustering? First, it allows everybody to participate in class discussions. Second, to increases vocabulary skills. There are procedures in teaching clustering. First, we can write the term on the board, one term, and then we will ask or call students to write words as they can think where it is connected to the term, to the one term that you write on the board. And then afterward, you will ask them why they thought that the term is connected to the term that you write on the board. And then it's like having a connect the dot. So the best example of activity that connected in clustering is the brainstorming. Because as what we know, brainstorming is where you can share different ideas, thoughts, opinions using that kind of activities. And there are 8 apps to support brainstorms and collaboration. It is the iBrainstorm, the Padlet, and so on. But we will focus on the iBrainstorm. So in iBrainstorm, this is the logo itself. It is very useful because it capture and share the students' creative mind that is more easier. It can also help to have a brainstorm in the most easy way where the students can write and add notes to the board. They can also invite their friends or their classmates to participate in the brainstorm. This logo is very convenient because you can just download it on your tablet or on your phone, and it's for free. So there are power or advantages of clustering. First, it use to generate writing ideas with students, used to understand literature and plays, it used to as a study skill. Yes, clustering is a great study strategy to all teachers to teach students and to help them to organize their thoughts and make useful connection. Especially it is very helpful to those who are visual learners who like to look and create a chart. So this is the link on YouTube. You can put it on the YouTube and try to search the tutorial how iBrainstorm is very useful in terms of activity. And it's like a clustering. So now let's go to the second teaching strategies, which is the clean up the mess. We will also discuss its definition, desired learning outcomes, teaching procedures, and example. So in clean up the mess, it is a strategy to allow the class to clean up the mess which were scattered in class. These mess are the concept which were intentionally scattered in class and serve as a starting point on the lesson. So it's like a motivation before the lesson proper. The desired learning outcomes of this activity is first, instills the value of cleanliness and orderliness in class. It improves communication skills, it strengthens interpersonal skills, and these are the teaching procedures in clean up the mess. We can scatter the pieces of paper where the concept, ideas, or topics are written, and then you can or we can use the recyclable paper for this activity. And then we instruct the class to clean up the mess, inform them to open those scratch paper, and then let them write the concept or idea in class and throw paper in trash can. And then ask what is the topic or lesson for that day, and then discuss the topic. One best example activity that connected in Clean Up the Mess is the Beat the Clock. This activity um, has is instruction to set a timer and tell students that they finish clean up before the time is up. When the timer rings, everyone must freeze. If cleanup is complete, you need to give an award that the class have a 5 minutes or free time at the end of the day. But if it's not, you need to give additional 5 minutes to finish picking them up. We can put also a little fun to it, like saying go, go, or stop. If we say go, it means they need to pick up the mess. And when we say freeze, stop, I mean we need to freeze or they need to freeze. Let's make our teaching more enjoyable while they are learning. More fun, more learnings. So please don't forget to like and share this video, and thank you so much for watching.
Class review. This strategy where students are requested to write about their evaluation of the lesson in a form or review. The desired learning outcomes are to enhance written and oral communication skills, gives feedback about the lesson, and improves interpersonal skills. Here are the teaching procedures. Let the class write class review about the lesson for today and allow them to share it to class or post them on the web. Book Jacket Parade. This is an excellent strategy to promote love for reading. This will encourage the student to learn more and read more. The desired learning outcomes are develop reading skills, stirs up the interest of students to read more, and improves oral communication. The teaching strategies or teaching procedures includes assign the students to get their favorite book, have them photocopy or illustrate the book cover, and let them prepare interesting facts about the books. Okay, so now that we're done with our discussion about the five elements of the story, we will proceed to our activity just to make sure that you will be able to apply what you've learned today. So, our activity is called Book Jacket Parade. So, the instructions here are to number one, to get your favorite book. Number two, to either photocopy or illustrate the book cover. So you're given here two choices. You can photocopy if you don't want to draw, or you can illustrate the book if you're into drawing, if you're an artist. Then number three, share something interesting about the book, including the five elements of the story. So you can share maybe two or three interesting facts about your book, And also, you have to write the elements or to share to us the five elements of the story, the plot, the settings, the character, and so on. So I'll give you 15 minutes for that, okay? Then once you're done, you can show us what you got. So since this is book jacket parade, meaning to say you will show to the class your output. Well done, class. Good job, Arwen and Hermione. Those are really wonderful drawings and interesting facts about your book. Good job, guys. Okay, so good job, everyone. And so for our assignments, this is called class review. So this will be your assignment for today. I would like you to write a review about the topic or about our topic discussed today, and you have to post it on our class website. So submission deadline is 8 a.m. tomorrow.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Hazel Kate Garcia, and right now I will be discussing two of the interactive and innovative teaching strategies. We all know that there are a lot of teaching strategies for interactive and innovative teaching. However, allow me to explain two of those strategies that I know. Let me just go ahead and start first with our first strategy. All right. So the first strategy that we do have is our can you guess? This strategy is where the student are asked to formulate guesses regarding the text, topic, concept, or idea. This can be in the form of a story, riddle, or incomplete statement. The outcomes of this strategy is to improve critical thinking skills of the student, enhances interpersonal skills, improves communication skills. Before we have these outcomes, we need to formulate first what are the teaching procedures that we need to do in order to achieve and effectively demonstrate this strategy. So these are the teaching procedures that we do have. The first one is to read the story, text, riddle, or incomplete statement. Next will be formulate a question or a situation, even event, where they need to guess what is next, what will happen, and what will be the outcome, and the like. The third one will be summarize the discussion for the day. So those are all the teaching procedures that we can do or we can use, and that way we can efficiently and effectively demonstrate the can you guess teaching strategy. Moving forward is the next teaching strategy that we do have, and that will be our charade. Charade, it is a guessing activity used by the teacher or the students to guess what is being acted out by the assigned pupils, facilitator through the use of gestures. The students will guess the concept for the day. This can be a good starting point for the day's lesson or can be used to recapitulate the lesson for the day. This strategy do have a desired learning outcome as well. First one will be encourage pupils' participation. Next will be stimulates creativity and ingenuity. Lastly, it enhances oral proficiency. Just like all the teaching strategies that we do have, we need to have a procedure on how to effectively demonstrate this strategy. And that is our teaching procedures. There are four teaching procedures to effectively demonstrate this charade strategy. And the first one will be Prepare sheets of paper where concepts are placed. Second, give the activities or procedures for the day. Third, divide the class into those who will act out the concepts and those who will guess the word. Lastly, once the concept care stated, this should be listed on the board for the class to guess the lesson for the day. So those are two of the teaching strategies that we do have for interactive and innovative teaching strategies.
Very well said. Thank you so much, speakers. So now let's move on to the second part of our agenda, and we will be talking about meaningful learning experiences and conducive learning environment. So help me welcome our speaker, Miss Julie Castro.
Hello, everyone. So, for today's lesson, we were going to talk more about the conducive learning environment, and we will be able to talk more about the environment that will actually be helpful for us now if we are already in a classroom settings. Um, Learning takes place not just in classroom but also in different space and areas in life. However, the one that we focus on is the inside of the classroom setting, so behind those four walls. So we have to make sure that we can build a comfortable learning environment for our students. So, what is a conducive learning environment? So, a conducive learning environment is an atmosphere that is caring and responsive. So, we should make sure that inside a classroom environment, the student will be comfortable in a way that they are not physically or emotionally harmed. Because if we have this kind of environment, that means to say that the students can be able to learn properly. And also, with this or having a conducive learning environment, really encourage now student to enjoy the whole process of learning new things. So the school, moreover, the classroom is considered to be this student's second home. So in this, we have to make sure that they are very comfortable since they are spending mostly in their daily life on it. So a conducive learning environment um, goes actually beyond now with the right of having a school furnitures or supplies, as it actually composed several factors that will actually affect their learning experience now. And these factors should be given a lot of time to think what are the best for them in a way that um, if they are in a good environment, they would actually feel comfortable, and thus they can be able to explore and learn in a environment which is um, ideal for them, or it's safe for them. So first is what we will tap go or what we will gonna have to discuss is creating a classroom that encourages interaction. So of course, as a teacher, you really have to master your topic now. Aside from its um, providing an awkward situation to your students, sometimes they also cannot relate now. So you have to make sure that some topics you have to provide some examples that would actually be relatable to your student. Apart from that, you have to make sure that you can also respect no their opinions without any prejudice. So you also have to make sure that when you there is also interaction between your student, because they would actually feel um, an opportunity to express themselves now from what they are able to think with your topic. So we have to make sure that there is that the classroom settings is a very interactive. So that's one of the things to consider in a conducive learning environment. So second is the physical space. So that's the one that we have talked earlier now. So as a teacher, having a um, workspace, even us, if we are not comfortable, if it's too cold or too hot, so of course you cannot be able to focus on what is the topic or what was being discussed in front of you. So we have to make sure that the chairs, the table, um, the space itself, if it's not too cold, not too hot, because the focus will be the student will actually shift their focus now on those physical aspect that seem to be uncomfortable for them. So we have to make sure that um, we have a comfortable physical space where children are able to sit comfortably. They are able to see the whole uh, blackboard, and they can be able to see what's in front of them clearly and visibly. So, with that being said, as part of the sitting arrangement, we have to make sure as well that they can also interact with their peers now. So, we really must think really the sitting arrangement of your classroom. With that being said, the structure of your physical environment, there should be a desk arrangements, student placement, and of course, classroom decorations. So, most of the teachers know, even in college, we were able to have our sitting arrangement. So, for the sitting chart, we have to make sure that the arrangement needs to give every student an easy access, especially if um, some students are not able to see clearly now. So you have to ask them, especially your students, who are those nearsighted or farsighted, or some conditions that we have to consider, so that when they will be able to learn or listen to the class, at least they are already comfortable for the sitting arrangement that they will gonna have to sit. So we have to make sure that the physical arrangement is they were able to um, sit comfortably. So every child is different, and you have to consider that you cannot just place them accordingly to their to their names, no, or if you were gonna arrange them by their last name. So of course you have to consider as well if they have any physical things that you have to consider. Again, if your student cannot see clearly, then you have to let them sit in the front, um, or if they are comfortable in sitting at the back. So that's what you have to consider. Of course, if you can see that that kind of student is kind of noisy and sometimes provide or sometimes create distractions, you have to make sure that you have to place them away from each other, no, yung mga noisy student na mahilig talagang mga yung mga pasaway sa classroom, no, so you have to separate them. So in order for us to create a harmonious environment. So second is the decoration, no? So some decoration seems to be very distracting, no? Na most of the time, yung focus ng student instead of your lesson, dito na sa decoration sa classroom. So mostly, no, we have to make sure that if we were gonna use a decoration, it should have a positive effect inside the classroom in order for the student not to be distracted. And remember, it's also important that when designing a decoration, you have to make sure it's fit inside the classroom. No, it's not too distracting, and also it's just neutral. Also, we have to make sure that there are no um, equipments that are considered very kind of noisy. So if ever you have like TVs, if it's not used during your classroom session, then we have to make sure we have to turn it off to avoid distraction as well. Apart from that one, we also need to create a learning ambience inside a classroom. So if in case the students are not able to learn properly because of the environment, which is they are not comfortable um, with the ambience, no, all in all, no, if there's actually a case kasi na if you are not comfortable inside a classroom, or if it seems like the ambience is not too great, of course you will gonna be distracted inside a classroom. So we have to make sure as well that the ambience of inside the setting or the classroom is good, no. You have to consider with it um the lesson, the as well as um the pacing of your lesson, no. um Also you have to make sure, no, na you have to set rules and regulation inside a classroom so that they can help them create a great atmosphere inside a classroom, no. They have to know their limits as well to create a great ambience. That's actually it. That's actually it for the conducive learning environment. Thank you so much for listening, and may have a great day.
Indeed, it was a very wonderful, meaningful, and productive discussions. Thank you so much to all of our speakers who are joining us for this event. So I hope all of you guys learned a lot from this webinar. And please don't forget to subscribe, tap the notification bell so that you'll get notified for our next video. And thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day.